Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Solid YouTube intro. Anyway, welcome to Pre-Dad Shred. You'll have to excuse me and my box of tissues. It's not for what you think. I have COVID. I should be coming out of it now. The trend's on my Fitbit are saying that I'm coming out of it, so should be. But the baby is due tomorrow. So anyway, welcome to the Dad Shred. It's the final episode of the series. I think it's been like 24 episodes or something, which has been pretty cool. It's been a good way to string it all together. Um, the whole pregnancy journey. Um, yeah, it's been good. And I've lost almost as much as I hoped, but not quite. But anyway, we'll get into that. So first thing is, yes, pre-dad shred. It'll be the last pre-dad video because the induction date, which if you don't know, an induction is when you get induced, which means you get intervention from the doctors to help you birth the baby. That's the best way to say it. So for the inductions, like they give you different chemicals and stuff to try and emulate natural birth because of whatever reason that they choose. Not choose, you know what I mean. Is that you can have a variety of something go wrong or nearly wrong, or they think it would the babies just should come out now. Because for instance, with us, it was just that they couldn't measure his head; they could only measure his stomach and his femur, which they're supposed to do all three and then get an average. And for a while, he was like top percent, and then they couldn't measure his head this time, and now he's not in that top whatever 10%. He's now in like top 25% for size. He's like 7.8, which is massive because I was like 5'6" or something tiny like that. Um, but yeah, so they couldn't measure his head, and so they've estimated his weight to be lower. So he still went up, but he's only went up by like what 2/3 of what he should have. But they've not measured his head, so they don't know for sure. So they're like, safest thing to do is probably just induce him. So that's what we'll do. Anyway, that's the end of the shred, and I'm currently now 79 this morning. I was 78 for the past couple of days, but I've been ill. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the final results of the shred. That my head's all over the place because I got the Rona and baby coming tomorrow. But yeah, the reason I'm having to do this now is because tomorrow I could be a dad, which is mental to think about. We'll get to that later on in the video. First of all, we're going to go over the spreadsheet. Then we'll go over, like, that's where I've been monitoring my weight fluctuations. Then, secondly, we'll look at the pictures, so our before and after pictures of this 13-week cut. And then, thirdly, I'll blabber on probably about becoming a dad and how it makes me feel. So, yeah, let's get to it. So here we are in the pre-dad shred. We started out on the 16th of July. So it's now the 16th of October. That wasn't even planned. So 3 months exactly to the day. We started out at 85.4. We gradually went down 84.4 the next week, 84 the next. So then 83.6, 3.3, and it was going down, and then there's a couple of bits you'll see follow down, like here, we actually gained a little bit of weight in a week. Then it went back on track, down, 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 gained a little bit again. I have no idea why though, because look at the calories in there. Don't know. But then this last week, now with COVID, whoa, spoilers. Now down to 79.2 for our mean weight. So for our we'll just go straight to the results. No one cares about anything else. Started at 85.4, we're now 79.2, so I'm down 6.2 kilos, which is a substantial amount of weight loss. It's what, a stone? Something like that. And it's a 7.26% total body weight loss. So if that was from like fat, I've theoretically went from 30% body fat ish, 28 maybe, down to like 21, 22, 23, which means I know that now my next like 13-week or 12-week cycle of cutting after this maintenance phase, because that's the next plan now, because I've got a baby coming, so I just want to make sure that I hover around the 79 kilo mark. I could be down in ab territory finally for me. Anyway, so the total average is averaged 5 gym sessions a week for 13 weeks. 770 calories from cardio, about 7,500 steps. I was eating on average 2, 3, 4, 9 calories with a net difference according to my Fitbit of -735, which then garnered a total body fat or body weight loss of 0.56% per week, which for me would be 0.5% is whatever, I don't know, 0.4 kilos or something on average each week. So about £1 a week, which is ideal for weight loss. And so the first thing I see from these results, which I think it's important to reiterate, because I've talked about it in a few other of the videos during it, is you have an expectation of what you'll look like at a weight, you're going to be fatter than you think. See, unless you've done this before and got abs, and you know what your ab weight is, because for me before, the closest I got to abs was like 72 kilos. But I had a thin layer of fat still on my stomach, and I had like literally no muscle anywhere on my back, on my legs, my arms, nothing. I was just cycling and then a little bit of 10 kilo dumbbell stuff in the house. Down to 72 kilos, nothing. So I thought to myself, maybe at like 75, I might get abs. But I thought maybe at 78 now, because I've got a bit more muscle these days. Maybe I'll be able to get back muscle from when I bulked before. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So basically, just that, I thought maybe I'll get the goal was to get to 78 kilos, 78 point something. I did get there for a couple of days, 78.9, despite eating more than normal. But I think that's because I had a temperature of 1 or 2 degrees over. And I had kind of backlogged quite a bit. Excuse me, backlogged quite a bit of cardio. So it just kind of was sorting itself out from there. But anyway, yeah. So solid amount of weight loss in my eyes. 6 kilos in 12 weeks, 13 weeks is good. I think I came into this cut not realizing that it was going to be part of a longer cycle. It was going to be a mesocycle essentially, and a longer cut. I came in thinking this was going to be the cut. I'll get shredded, and then and that's it. Whereas really, if I go from a cut from now and do an actual cut, I would get more looking like the before and after pictures that you would actually see on the internet, because I'm not too far away from abs. I don't think, like, as in if I lost this again, like 5 kilos, say, like roughly the same percentage loss, I think you would then start to see your abs and stuff. So anyway, that gets us let's look at the pictures, I suppose. But just before we get into the pictures, one thing just to say about this. This is where, don't worry about having bad days. For instance, here, 3,500 calories, 4,000 calories. Where's more? More 3,500 calories. 3, 4, 4.5. Granted, most of these are from alcohol, so I don't think with alcohol it's a funny one because a couple of days eating clean and it kind of sorts itself out. But yeah, so you do have to be consistent, but not in the micro. You have to be consistent in the macro. For instance, 13 weeks, my goal was to eat about 2,100 calories, and I thought in my mind maybe 22. Average 2, 3, 4, 9. So it's a little bit more than normal, but over 13 weeks, I'm still only eating 2, 3, 4, 9, including all my cheat meals and stuff. So yeah, anyway, I'll do something on later. So I've got the picked up here. We'll just start getting into it. Main thing to notice is that, as I said, I've had COVID for 5 days, 6 days now. So I'm a little bit watery. I've not been able to work out, which means that it's not necessarily that I've lost muscle, but it's that I've lost the inflammation you get from working out. You'll know what I mean if this has happened to you before, but like, even if you have like multiple weeks off the gym, then you have one day back, that day you're like, I swear I'm bigger. And you are, because there's more inflammation within the muscle tissue, so it swells up. I'm missing that. So I don't think I've really lost any muscle. I've mainly just lost probably glycogen stores. I think I'm a little bit dehydrated. Struggling to hold on to water as much. I did have a McDonald's just to do something about watery. Anyway, that's enough excuses. Let's get into it. So, first picture here that you see is just like a candid one. We'll go through the actual bodybuilding poses. But it's just, I think this is a good example of how I look as a normal person walking around different. So I think here you can see, obviously I'll get shots on in the before and the after here, just boxers. But I think you can see, like, around my neck, my beard here just looks like my neck joins onto my head and then it's just a straight line, whereas here it looks like there's an actual head and then a neck. You can see the chest just looks a lot less fat, the arms look a lot less chubby. And then I think you can see it in the torso here that it's just a lot thinner, a lot less puffy. Um, you'd normally, I think, see online much more drastic changes when people lose like a stone or 6 kilos, and it is pretty hard to do it. Like it's no walk in the park. 13 weeks of try to diet, and so yeah, just kind of candid one. I think you can tell I look a lot slimmer now than then, but these ones will see properly what I look like. So first, the front relaxed. I look a lot more relaxed than this one. I tried lifting the arms up because I was seeing people do that online, and it looked to accentuate the lats. But for me, I can't engage them. My arms are that high up. But I'd already taken the video before I noticed that. So whatever. But if we just look at the general structure, you can see I think here that the muffin top is a lot thicker than it is here, and just the general kind of bloating and size of the torso, like the stomach, just a lot bigger. And then it's hard to judge the shoulders and stuff, but I look wider and more muscular here, I think. As for my legs, they look kind of small, but I think they don't look too bad when I do this like twisting my foot to the side thing, because my legs from that like 3 dimensional look don't look too small, whereas straight on they look tiny. But if you've seen other videos in pre-dad shred, it's because of a knee injury that I've got, which I'm going to have to get surgery for. And if you can't tell, it's this one, the one with the no definition, because I struggled to tense it, just as if the brain can't do it now because of the way the injury is. Anyway, so yeah, mainly just lost quite a bit of torso, I think, here, and I just look a lot tighter. If we go next to the front double bicep, same thing again. I think it's just dawned on me too. I think honestly, my adductors or abductors, whatever one it is, the inductors, they look bigger, and I think there's more definition on the legs. My knees, I noticed they look a bit thinner, which is weird. But anyway, just standard again. My torso, just right around the midsection where you don't want fat, that's gone a bit, which is good. I like the look of that. Um, Yeah, and again, like the neck thing, the face, like I feel like my face just looks a bit fatter there than here, and then my arms are a little bit more bloated, whereas here they look more kind of elongated, with a bit more definition. So yeah, looks good. Can't really see it here, but I also have like a little bit of definition on the serratus. Next, front lat spread. You can kind of see the definition I was talking about in the serratus there. But yeah, legs I think look a lot. They'll do look a lot more denser, which I'm glad of, because I was trying to do different exercises without, because the problem is essentially that I can't bend my knee. As soon as I bend it past like this degree of angle, it pops. So I can't do leg press or anything. It's horrendous. And then when I try and even do leg extensions, which I do, I have to do them quite low weight because, well, A, when the pump gets too much, it's just absolutely agony. It hurts. You just have to stop because it's as if, because of the inflammation, when you then inflame the muscle as well, there's just nowhere for the tendon to move, and that's sore. And then also it does this weird fibrous thing, almost like Joe Lindler, Linder. Anyway, Joe Aesthetics, R.I.P. But with his like alien chest thing. Kind of does that on my leg, but I think it's because I struggle to neurologically engage it now because of the injury, which is weird. But anyway, I've been doing all different exercises, and I feel like the legs are more like 3 dimensionally muscular. So that way, like with forearms, you can feel like they'll be kind of squishy in some angles. And then if you actually do specific forearm training or calf training or leg in this case, you end up like all the muscles you can then feel. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool feeling. Lats look a bit more rounded, less straight in. Shoulders. So next up is the side chest. I think if you look, my chest looks a bit better here. You see like the kind of puffiness around the nipple there in this one with the fat. Whereas here there's a lot less, spoilers, a lot less puff around the nipple. It's yeah, it doesn't puff out as much, just kind of goes straight down. But yeah, you can see I think the chest looks a bit better. Arms, into the delts look a bit better. So I think my arms here actually look much bigger than there, which is good. They do feel a lot bigger. Also, apologies for the charisma. As I told you, I've got the Rona. The legs, they look kind of straggly from the side here. But I have another video that should be out before this one, which is the how much weight do you lose during or how much muscle do you lose during COVID or with COVID. Anyway, you can see on that video the hamstring was pretty popping, and then after 5 days, 6 days of being out, it's just poof gone. But anyway, you can see my calves are shredded, bro, and my hamstrings are pretty shredded, bro, too. Which you can see a big difference there. And yeah, arm looks a bit bigger too. And actually, if you sneakily look underneath my hands, you can see my belly hanging more there than here, which is good. One frustrating thing about these boxers is that the band is so tight that it makes it look as if you got them off on top even more. But anyway, next into rear double bicep. So if you look here, this is the thing I was talking about, like with my knees. I swear my knees here look skinnier than here. But yeah, anyway, the main difference that we can see is one, the shoulders here look much bigger than here. But keep in mind, the lighting is different. And in this one, I've not trained shoulders for like a week. But I think I notice as well, the waist here is a lot smaller now, as is the love handles, which is good. What do I call it for? Muffin top. That is what it's called though, isn't it? But I think here as well, you can see my triceps look ever so slightly bigger than there, which is cool. And I think as well my forearm here looks bigger, which it definitely feels it when I'm working out. Yeah, again, same thing. If you look at the COVID video, you see that I don't. I should be more muscular than this for the before and after, but I'm ill, so I can't do it. But I think generally, if the lighting was the same, this one would be like the same amount of muscle, maybe slightly more, and much less muffin top and stuff, which is good. Next up, the rear lat spread. Getting a bit boring now. I know, I'm sorry. This is the second to last one. I keep doing this stupid thing when I raise up one of my shoulders. I don't know why. But anyway, if we just look at this, again, drastic difference in my love handles here. It's a lot bigger back then than now. My legs, what do they look kind of the same? Although I feel like here it kind of swoops up, like curves up, whereas this kind of goes more straight and then in. Because again, as I said, three-dimensionally built up more muscle. But yeah, just looks a lot more tighter. I have noticed something weird, which is I carry a lot of fat in my back. Because I'd always think, especially when I bulked up, that I'm actually like just my back's massive. But in reality, I think there's a layer of fat like this big on it. So that's been a sad realization. Also, maybe it's just the way the light is, man, but it looks as if I'm more bald here than there. But anyway, you can also see, I think, my neck looks bigger here, but it's actually just fatter than that one. But yeah, just a wee skinny thing in this one. Finally, rear, short, relaxed. We'll start with the obvious, which is my back was so much bigger then. However, as I've said time and time again now for this video, as COVID back actually looks this similar musculature pre-COVID, but now post-COVID, it's all like dwindled away to nothingness. Sadly. But yeah, because if you look here, it's much bigger. But again, it's the thing I said with fat. There's quite a lot of fat on here, although it might not look it. Although some folk will say it does. But you know, it just looks like there's mass on it. That mass is fat, even though it looks as if it kind of has definition as if there was muscle there. But yeah, because you can see also, look at the front delts popping out versus here, none. But the good thing here is love handles and waist lost quite a significant bit, which is good. As for the legs, they look smaller now, and this thing I was saying with my knees look smaller now, like they've less fat around them, which is weird. But anyway, there you go. There's an overview of how much muscle you can realistically attain whilst you've got an injured knee of a baby coming and decide to cut. This is kind of roughly what you could look like. But no, in all seriousness, I think the cut did go pretty well. I think I just did the rookie thing of expecting more from it. Don't know if I'll bulk. I've been kind of toying with the idea of just considering continuing a cut because I think there's no use to me bulking now, bulking up whatever 3-4 kilos or something. I think really realistically the best thing to do is to jump in another cut. Because this bulk cut thing, I'm starting to think maybe it only really matters if you're enhanced. I might be wrong, but I'm just starting to get that feeling now that bodybuilding shows only make sense when people are enhanced and can make significant changes in the off season. With natural bodybuilders, you always notice it. First year they train, if they're going to be a good bodybuilder, they kind of blow up. Second year they keep blowing up. Third, and then that second year, maybe at the end of the third, they will then do a show. They'll look amazing. They'll then go on an off season again. They'll get a little bit bigger, show again, and then that's kind of it. You can't just keep coming back and back and back and back and getting better. You kind of just look the same ish. You maybe get better conditioning, but you're the same kind of size. And it's made me start to wonder that maybe the Greg Doucette mindset is better because I did agree with. I did agree with bulking and cutting from the perspective that you need something to aim towards. So when you aim towards a bulk, you're aiming towards growing. So it's easier to be rough and like build muscle. But then when you're cutting, you're aiming towards losing fat. So you've got something to go towards. Whereas when you're just main gaining, it can be kind of disheartening and boring. But then the whole point with bodybuilding is it's a long term thing. It's a marathon, not a sprint, etc. In which if you keep doing something like main gaining over the long term, over years, it will probably be better, healthier mindset to be in than this kind of short term yo yoing. So it's made me think to myself that, maybe I should just maintain for whatever 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then we'll jump back into another cut and try and get down to maybe 75 kilos or something, 74, and see how we feel then. Because if I can get down to a weight in which I have like just about visible six pack or something, then I would try and slow bulk up to having more muscle as opposed to bulking up properly. Because now when I look back at pictures of me bulked up properly, I have this thing where I don't store really any body fat on my shoulders and arms or my legs. So if I wear shorts and a baggy stringer, I'll look kind of shredded, especially with a pump because I've got veins still popping out. But in reality, my belly, I can like grab it properly. Like this, I can kind of grab it. But I mean, everyone who doesn't have a six pack can kind of grab the fat there. And I'm sitting like this because I'm not well. But yeah, so it's made me think about whether to just cut again. And then should I want to bulk, at least I'm bulking from a place where I'm like already kind of shredded. Because if I want to bulk because I want to cut for a show, I'm gonna have to get much more shredded. Because you see all these videos of like trust the bulk, bro, and you're like, well, you don't really have to trust the bulk because you were well fat. You could have just slowly cut. Because I think that's the thing that I'm doing, which is good, is that I'm slowly cutting and building up muscle. Although it doesn't really look like it from these pictures, is because it's that it ended on a day where I'm emaciated, so it's not showing the best possible outcome. It's showing the real life outcome, which I think this is what this channel and this Pre-Dad Shred's been all about, showing the real life of what's happening. Well, anyway, thank you for watching, coming along for the series, man. It's been a good ride. And the next time I see you, I'll be a dad, which is nuts. So, yeah. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in a bit, man. Catch you later. Oh. So it's now Monday, the 16th of October. I still get the Rona. I feel a little bit better though. But, oh man. I was just thinking about how glad I am that I've done these vlogs. Because I like to look back on my life and stuff. And I struggle to do daily vlogs because, it's boring. every day. But to have a main theme, for instance, with this, like just following my life, just becoming a dad, has been it's made lovely videos that I can look back on. But I can't believe it. Tomorrow, this time tomorrow, 9:58, Joe will have phoned to go in for induction. It's the last day we're ever gonna have before the baby's here. It's a lot to process, and it's obviously all good. It's just emotional and overwhelming time. But I'm so proud of her. She's done so well, and gonna make a brilliant mum. And I look forward to becoming a dad. Oh, but anyway, that's the pre-dad shred finished. I suppose the next series will be dad something. Jeez, oh man.